The Miami Dolphins have now won 3 of their last 4 games, including a win against the reigning divisional champion, the Buffalo Bills. In spite of an ugly start, the Fins have the fortunate advantage of having a much lighter schedule in the next 3 weeks and have a shot to get back into the playoff hunt. But now the question should be asked, should the Dolphins even try to get back into the playoff hunt? Should they even win out? And can they even win out? Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Sammy HT, and today we will be discussing Miami Dolphins and their sudden shift and how it could potentially be the best and worst thing to happen at this very moment. And of course, if you end up liking this video, please don't be afraid to hit that like button and comment down below if you agree or disagree with me, and subscribe if you're new. I upload every single week content on all things Miami sports and sports in general. And with that being said, let's get started with the video. It's no question that after the win against Buffalo, Miami Dolphins have a teensy tiny bit of hope to get back into the playoff hunt. Now, obviously, it's very, very, very unlikely that this happens, given the fact that we still have to take a trip to Tampa and to New England at the very end of the year. But with that being said, where there is delusion, there is hope anyway. And I, for one, have all the delusion and all the hope. What I'm really nervous about is what the Dolphins are going to do if it doesn't work out and we go 8-9 again. Because then we're back on the drawing board. Then we're back to, well, we're going to be having the 15th overall pick. We're going to go ahead and draft a guy who we think has great upside but isn't a top 10 prospect. Evidently, what's going to happen is we're not going to be in a great position to win next year again, much like this year. Now, I want to make one thing very, very clear. I'm okay with us winning out. I want us to win out. As a matter of fact, if we do win out, I'll be ecstatic. I'll be, oh my goodness, the things I'm going to be doing. Cartwheels. Jumping for joy if we win out. But the reality is that I know this Dolphins team. I know this Dolphins team way too well. And since I know this Dolphins team, I know that the games that we're supposed to win are likely going to be our toughest. For example, in 2 weeks, we face the Saints. The Saints by no means are a good football team, but we are by no means a great football team either. Seriously, we lost to the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns. Now, respect to the Cleveland Browns, okay? They have a fantastic defense, an amazing defense. Then we beat Buffalo, and after beating Buffalo, not just beating them, but blowing them out, it gives me some confidence that we can still win some really quick key games this year. We can beat some good teams. Quite frankly, we've been able to beat good teams for a bit now. We just have never been on the right side of things. Like against the Chargers, we weren't playing good enough to win that game, but the Chargers ended up winning that game anyway because, well, quite frankly, our defense couldn't make a tackle and we couldn't get a stop. The first half of that Ravens game even, we were the better team in that first half, but self-inflicted wounds hurt us. And that's been the trend of the year, right? Self-inflicted wounds. Situations like fumbles, penalties, all these things have led to us being to the spot we're in right now, and that's at 4-7. I can't believe it, but these next 2 weeks are literally gift wrapped for us to win. Against the Saints, who aren't good, then against the Jets, who aren't good either. And even against the Steelers. The Steelers are going to have a backup QB playing, I assume. And if they don't have a backup QB playing, at the very least, they have a compromised QB playing. This team is capable of winning these games. We are very capable. It's just, can we do it on a week-to-week basis? It remains to be seen, but honestly, I'm not going to hold my breath either. Because at the end of the day, we have a head coach, unfortunately, that has a very, very strong tendency to try to outsmart people he doesn't need to outsmart. Someone who rather go for it on 4th and goal than to take the points and take the lead in a close game against the Washington Commanders. Still can't believe he made that decision. All the decisions this year, that was the most shockingly stupid. I could not believe what I was seeing. But we ended up winning that game anyway, so let's let bygones be bygones, right? Right? I don't know if I can let bygones be bygones. Why would I let bygones be bygones after watching something like that? Genuinely, if there's a head coach that can mess up this tremendous opportunity, it's Mike McDaniel. I mean, after all, throughout the entirety of this year, we've been losing games we've been supposed to win. I mean, that kind of sums up the entire season. We were fortunate this past Sunday. Okay, what makes you think we're going to have fortune against the New Orleans Saints or even the New York Jets on the road? But one guy who I think will be the reason we end up winning this game is my glorious king, Devon Achane. My glorious king, Devon Achane. Where do I even begin? This guy, I mean, if there's one reason you want to watch Dolphins football, this guy is that reason. I mean, there have been a lot of players to come to Miami and be electrifying. I mean, we just recently had Tyreek Hill before that unfortunate, incredibly sad injury. But this guy, Devon Achane, has certainly made up for it in the best way possible. If we don't extend Devon Achane, I will understand why. Because he's a running back, and running backs aren't exactly, you can just get your pick of the litter, and especially with Mike McDaniel, you just get your pick of the litter, and they can thrive. However, with this Miami Dolphins team, I genuinely think that with Devon Achane, he is the difference. He is the best offensive player on this team. And the fact that he might single-handedly backpack this offense into being mid. And the only thing keeping it from being like absolute dog water booty is Devon Achane, bro. And Devon Achane is just, I can't say enough words about him. And his top 10 in yards per carry. He's third in the league in rushing yards. I mean, not to mention, he might actually be like our best receiver too. Like the fact that Waddle has been struggling with drops drives me insane. He might be our second best receiver on this team, genuinely. He is quite literally our second best receiver. Like actually our second best receiver. He has 370 receiving yards. Our leader in receiving is Jalen Waddle with 722. Like that's the kind of season we're having right now. I will live and die by Devon Achane. Do not care. He's our best offensive player. Hands down. All right, I've been yapping enough about how, we could potentially win out this year, but now the question is, should we win out? Because let's be honest here, ladies and gentlemen, the Miami Dolphins have been mediocre for a very, very long time. And I'm sure many of you Dolphins fans are sick of it. I know I'm sick of it. And us being 10-7 with the chance of not even making the playoffs in spite of that record, to a lot of people that might scream like we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Insanity, essentially. I'm here to tell you that might not be the case. Let's be honest, guys. Who in the draft class next year is going to be our savior? Ian Rappaport already put out the report that McDaniel and Tua are going to be going into the 2026 season. It's going to happen. We're not going to make any changes there. And why would we? We paid Tua Tagovailoa, unfortunately, and we gave McDaniel the extension. I mean, this was going to happen. But nobody in the draft that's upcoming is going to save the Dolphins. Nobody. What receiver is going to come in and change everything? What pass rusher? What offensive line? Because I can tell you right now, the QB class isn't exactly the greatest. Now, it's not like 2021 levels of bad, like Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis are the top prospect levels of bad, but it's certainly not the best class. The Miami Dolphins should do everything in their power to win out, to try to make the playoffs. Because the reality is, that was the expectation in the first place. The goal was to make the playoffs. The goal was to win a playoff game at the beginning of the season. We're not going to change goals now. The season isn't over yet. We still have stuff that we could be playing for. A lot of stuff is going to have to go our way, okay? We're going to need, but who knows? Maybe the Ravens come back and win their division, and part of that reason is us beating Pittsburgh, which gives us the tiebreaker over Pittsburgh, which then leads to us potentially sneaking into the back door as a 7th seed. Is it likely? Probably not. But we have to try. We need to try. There is no point in not trying because the reality is nobody's saving us. No player on next year's draft class is saving us. So the fact of the matter is this. We could go ahead and do what a lot of you are mentioning. We could tank. We could 1,000% tank. And just hope and pray that we get a prospect or a QB that completely changes everything around. Or we could try, at the very least, to win out and do what we were set to do at the beginning of the year, and that's win a playoff game. It's not going to be easy, and hell, it's not even likely, okay? I mean, our last 2 games of the season are against Tampa Bay and New England, okay? And those 2 teams are not going to be easy to take out. Hell, the game against Cincinnati is going to be difficult as well. But I'll tell you what, one thing about me, one thing about a lot of people in this city, they want to see winning. They've seen losing long enough. And damn it, if there is a way to get to the playoffs and all we have to do is win, I know the history books say that we always lose, but all we could do is hope and pray that this year, somehow, some way, it's a different story. No single player in that locker room right now is telling themselves, hey guys, you know what? No point in playing anymore. Let's just go ahead and coast through the rest of the regular season. You think Jordan Brooks, with his mentality and his toughness, is saying the season's over? What about Zach Sealer? You think he's saying it's over? What about Aaron Brewer? These are the tough guys on our team. You think they're just going to bow out of a regular season football game? Absolutely not. And I'm not expecting it either. We have an uphill battle, and if I'm being honest, the doubt is strong, but we're going to ride this out. And we're going to win out. We're going to hope, rather, to win out, because I can't speak in confidence about this team. This season got off to an ugly start, but we can turn it around. We can turn it around. We've seen crazier things happen, man. We have. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. We're on the road to 100K. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, and I'd like to reach that goal by the end of the year. And as always, this has been Sammy HT, and I will see you guys next time. Dale.